I got it for 3 reasons. Right time, right place, and right
Is
God.
that fake chest hair?
Yes, it is fake chest hair. I did it so you could see the Star of David a little better.
That's really funny.
This is where the troops go in the back right there.
So for a comedy show, as this is, I've pondered the idea of getting a sign up that says all things comedy, as many comedians do, which would lead you to your next question of going, well, Cody, can you then start being funny? Because I understand I get a lot of complaints from a lot of Marines all the time. Cody, why is your show not bigger than it is? Why is your show not funny? Why is your head big? Why were you such a terrible Marine? And those things might all be true, by the way, but it's not every day that you do get a real funny guest on. And I will, Mr. Nick, I will ask your rank later because the latest picture I saw two chevrons underneath, but I don't want to get it wrong here. I don't want to have to do my 2 weight push-ups because I'm out of shape and I've been out for a long time. But I am very pleased to welcome my, I believe, 3rd comedian now on the show. And could be wrong. At first active duty, I think, Marine comedian. So there's a first. It's always nice to have the milestones reached. But Mr. Nick Racioppi, is that how you say it?
Hell yeah, it can be for this. No.
Okay. All right. Well, Mr. Nick Ravioli, I hope you're doing well today.
That works. That's it. Yeah.
How do you say it, by the way? Because I looked it up on Google and I don't know if it's leading me the right way.
I've got a weird lineage, but it's technically in Italian, it's Racioppi. You're supposed to roll the R, and then the CIO is like the chow, right? So Racioppi. In American, it's Racioppi. Just make the C and S. But yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, that was good. Ravioli works. That's it.
Yes.
I was Chef Boyardee all through high school.
Beautiful. Nick Rolling Stone. I want to have this like a general theme in the show where I have to make up a different last name for you as we go through.
Yeah. It's like in Grandma's Boy, that one like stoner dude shows up with a different ponytail, like each scene he's in. It's pretty funny. It's a running bit throughout that whole movie.
Wait, which movie was this?
Grandma's Boy, the stoner. I've
not heard of this one.
You haven't seen, dude. Grandma's Boy is a cult classic. It's great. Fantastic. It's Nick Swartzen. It's all the Happy Gilmore guys.
Okay, I love Nick Swartzen. That's a great guy. Yeah, I don't think I've seen this one. I'm looking at it on the I don't know if you can see it through the screen here, but yeah, it's Doris Robert, Linda Carter, Jonah Hill. Okay, this actually has a pretty stacked cast here.
It's the best.
What is your rank, though, by the way? Because I do feel very I didn't do too much research into it because I tried to rely on because for those who don't know, we did try to plan, I believe, 2 shows last year, but for other reasons, mainly because of me, we had to push it off. And so I was just banking that the stuff that I remembered of you from last year would kick in, but my short-term memory is not, or my long-term memory is not that great. But for those who don't know you, who exactly is Nick Ross rear end? Who is
Nick's rear end? Yes, I'm a gunny in the United States Marine Corps, and active duty comedian. I'm up in like the Quantico DMV area now, and I thought that would be like something that set me apart because down in North Carolina, which is where I started comedy, there aren't too many active duty comedians. There's a lot of veteran comedians. Navy, Army, pretty much all of the branches. And then I got up to like the DMV area, and it's like everybody is a vet comic. And I was like, damn, now I have to rely on my pasty white skin setting me apart. Yeah. Like there is no difference from me to any other comedian,
Yeah. Okay. So what is it you said you were infantry and then you went to PSYOP, right? Did I have that right?
Yeah. I was a grunt I was 0311 for 8 years, and then I'll be 14 years in June. So that's almost another 6 or 7 years now we're influence specialists. So,
Influence specialist.
Yeah, we're influencers, which is really cool. It's a dynamic MOS. Definitely requires your creative abilities.
Yeah. Now, I guess you might agree with me, but are they really wrong though? I mean, because we are influencers technically. I mean, that is what we do out of the uniform, I guess you would say. So is it really out of pocket to call yourself what was the name of that? Yeah, my memory's terrible. What was the name of it again?
Influence specialist.
Influence specialist. Yeah, I can't balance all this between trying to remember your rank, your Italian last name. It's hard for me.
Yeah. Well, I'll throw it in an acronym, and then that's probably going to be a little bit easier. But
let's go.
Yeah, dude. No, I don't know. It's just when your MOS is like got influence in the like job title, it feels cringy. Like I don't know how many influencers you've come across that like refer to themselves as influencers, but like to me, it's very much like a stepdad role. It's like I'm a dad, but yeah, like I'm a stepdad. Like it's a pre-owned kid, not fresh off the lot.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, you're not like the first love choice, I guess you would say, or the first thought of it all.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah. You're not the dad who stepped out. You're the dad who stepped up. Yeah.
God, I don't know what you feel about this, and I mean, and so wait, let me preface this before I dig in. But are you a stepdad or are you a father?
No, I'm a father. Yeah. I have two kids, and both of them are mine.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm gonna rip into stepdads, but I didn't want to rip into you, like if you were one. But it's like, growing up in the 2000s, like there was a big push to like make stepdads like accepted, like they were regular dads, or to accept them like they're okay. But it's just like, I'm sorry, but it's just like they're just not as like loved as everyone else. It's like they are. Yeah. In a weird twist, they are the stepchild of the parent dynamic. It's weird.
I don't know, because I'm also like, I was technically adopted. I got a pretty checkered family tree. I never met my dad, and my mom was, let's say, less than present. And so when I was 10, I went to school in Jersey. So like my best friend at the time, his family just wound up taking me in, and so it winded up really flourishing into something cool. So it was like, I do refer to myself as that and like an adopted child.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for every stepdad out there except your adopted dad, I'm sorry if you're outcasted. All right. Like I love my stepdad, but it's like, may God rest his soul, but it's like, come on. Yeah. I don't want to dig into personal stuff real quick. It's going to be too weird if I do it. But, do you, I am a little curious though, since you're an influencer specialist, like, do you actually do anything that's influencer-y or influencer-esque in your role?
I mean, yeah, like you're supposed to be like good at creating like products and content, essentially, is what you could classify it as. Like it's really, the job is just marketing. It's like really getting good at marketing. So like the whole purpose of the job is to influence foreign audiences. It's kind of the whole mission set of it. And it allows for like a very creative space when you're thinking about, kind of making these ads. But like when push comes to shove, it's usually pretty cookie cutter stuff.
So when you mean by foreign audience, is this a literal thing? Like, is this outside the United States or just anybody that's not? Whoa, okay. Now how much, because I'm really curious here, because it's like, wait, like, are we talking to somebody who actually is like, trying to persuade the public, what's the word for like the public, like the public opinion of another country right now? Like, do you cover anybody that's important? Like, do you try to persuade the North Koreans or the Chinese or the...
No, not in my experience. For the most part, all of my deployments have been pretty like skewed. Like a lot of my exercises and things that I've kind of participated in, at least not in my experience, I haven't really had too much like real world like application to the MOS. But like when we deploy, it's more of like preparation. But in my experience, I can't really speak to others' experiences.
Okay. Yeah, because I was under this impression, because I hear influencer or specialist, and then you say, you're helping influence a foreign audience. I'm thinking to myself, like, wait a minute, is this guy telling the people on like Card Island that like, hey, maybe it's not a good idea to stay here, or like, hey, people in Ukraine, keep the fight going or something. Like, I don't know. I have like these, like you're creating the fake AI military girl, like the PSYOP or something like that.
No, it's I wish it was that cool. We don't necessarily have like those freedoms. There are like a lot of legalities wrapped around it. So it just varies. Yeah, like I'd have to, I guess, really comb through what the job entails as far as like if everything's cleared hot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because even when I do stand up, people are like, "Are you like an industry plant?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't. No, I don't have nearly enough followers to be anywhere near important for anybody to kind of keep an eye on what I'm doing."
Wait, why would they accuse you of being an industry plant? Like, are there a lot of people? Like, are you like Erica Kirk or like Kevin Hart, where there's just like or not Erica Kirk? What? I forget, but like, are people trying to like prop you up, or like you getting like added up, or what's the?
No, and that's the thing. Yeah, like if anything, there's like so many bigger influencers, but it's usually just an offhand joke after a show. It's like, "Oh, you're active duty. What's your job? Oh, that's your job. So is this, put that in your little skits?" And it's like, dude, stop.
Yeah, and then you proceed to roast them or something like that, or kick their ass. No, you do fight Muay Thai, or at least what, last year you fought in a tournament?
Yeah, Muay Thai, MMA, Jiu-Jitsu. I love it all. Combat sports. I was never a team sports guy. I played lacrosse in high school, but like that was the extent of my sportage, my athleticism.
Mm-hmm. Now, with that type of background, I assume, well, maybe since you moved into it, I don't know how much of like a junior guy, like, how many Marines are below you compared to like when you were a grunt per se. But it's like, what do the people below you think about that when they see a lot of that meshing stuff? Because I feel like there's the sense of like, it might be easy to fraternize with you because you're a comedian and it may not take you seriously, but then they see you have an MMA background and it's like, okay, you can't, takes you, puts a little more respect on your name, I guess you would say.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I try and keep the worlds pretty separate. Like for the most part, I get a lot of support from my like fellow Marines, but also like the idea is to get really good at stand up alone. And like my dream goal is to kind of get in front of an audience that doesn't know who I am and still get them to kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Resonate with me.
Yeah. Really clicks with you, really jives.
Yeah. Because I like, one of the most important things of comedy is like being able to resonate with the audience. And sometimes, when you're not in a military town, which for a large portion of my comedic career, I was. So like some of those jokes I was able to kind of lean on. But when you get to areas that are outside of that and like, down by like Wilmington, North Carolina, like not everybody knows what a PCS is. They don't know how challenging that is. They don't know.
Yeah.
They're
almost outside of your tribe in a way.
100%. And so like the best way to get good at comedy is like writing those jokes so it fits to kind of most demographics. And so like really the challenge is finding the similarities and stuff and then like showing the world what's so funny about it. Like I always say, I assimilate the military to prison. Anytime I'm near like convicts who have been in and out, if you've been on a MEU, that place, it's a floating prison. That's
It
all
is,
it is.
yes.
You have your chow times, you're in line waiting from fucking, 08 or whatever. I forget what the morning time chows are, but it feels very much like, have you ever watched Den of Thieves?
Why does that sound? I can't say I have, but it sounds very familiar though.
It was like, one of the dudes was essentially like set checking the other dude when they were about to pull off this big like job, and he was trying to grill him on like what the breakfast orders were and like what the breakfast schedule was at that prison because they also did time there. And that's essentially what comedy is like trying to get the public to assimilate to what just kind of some of the trials and tribulations that the military will give me. Because it's like, for me, not to lean on the military stuff would be ridiculous for such a large portion of my life. And so it has been for a while. And so it's like, trying to assimilate some of the office environments to like what the military is and how those environments are. Like I had a gunny who we had a dude just check in, but he was a little bit overweight.
Okay.
Right. So like imagine it's a new hire. The kid's in his alphas. He's overweight, but he didn't get his like alphas adjusted at all. And so the gunny is just like sitting there at his desk, like, you're checking in and you're fucking overweight. You have get that fucking button out of my face. It's condition 1. You got a condition 1 button in my face. And like the whole office just fucking blew up because he was just, he wouldn't stop saying it.
Yeah.
But like getting bullied your first day at work is so fucking funny in my eyes.
It really is. Yeah. It's funny because when you said that you relate the military to prison, it really is because and I know you have to know this, but the way that we talk about it to each other and so like everyone else, it's exactly like even the phrase "when we got out," when we're getting out, it's like we're literally referring to it as something that we're trapped in or something like that. Even though we want to go back. Oh yeah, that's another thing. We all want to come back even after we've been out for so long.
Yeah, that's like, yeah. And, more power to the guys that get out after 4, because they really do take a leap. There's so much like job security. I think that's really the only like glaring difference between like prison and the military is that, and I've never been to prison, so I'm talking out of my ass here. Who the fuck am I? But I have been on a Mew, and I'm telling you, you're you're promised 3 squares and a bed, and that's about it. So it's just like sometimes when the port, you don't port for a while and food starts getting low, everybody's getting angry. The Navy folk are like, sorry, you're gonna have to make by with 2 French fries and a couple of peas until the next time we port.
Brother, I could rant to you about because this podcast was started from a Mew, believe it or not. There's actually a lore that goes into it, but I know the whole because the Mew that I was on, sounds pretty quintessential from what you're describing. It's like we only had 1 port, and it was during COVID. So as soon as COVID hit, the whole thing was done. We had no sunlight the entire time, and it's just I'm not a tinfoil hat guy or a scientist, but like being a Florida man, I'm pretty sure that I've gotten so used to the vitamin D and the sunlight. It's like you kind of need that to just to have all this stay sane up here. And everybody gets so quirky, and everybody just like their personalities just morph into these weird alien things. Like I have a quote book. I haven't quoted it much, but it's whenever like my peers would say something out of pocket or out of context, I would just jot it down or something like that. And it's just pages full of stuff of just the dumbest things because we went crazy. We went stir crazy literally there. I assume was it like that for you whenever you went?
Yeah, the Mew. So I was on the 22nd Mew, and this was right after Russia invaded Ukraine, and like everything was pretty much shut down. We had a bunch of exercises scheduled, and then those didn't really wind up all of them like panning out. So a lot of it was just us going to Brest, France, which I didn't even know existed. So I just kept calling it Titty France, and the French did not like that. But
why would they not like that? They don't even like it when you speak English. That doesn't make any sense.
I know. Yeah, this is enough. So it winded up just being, a couple of ports, but that whole deployment, everybody was just getting absolutely frustrated the libo stories were nuts, but I was sober at the time. So I'd gotten a DWI like right before that deployment.
Mm-hmm.
And my first conversation with that sergeant major was to talk about my DWI. And that was like my check-in conversation. And granted, he was a fucking prior MP. So it was, dude, it was like there was no saving me on that deployment.
Did you at least fit in your alphas when you talked with him at the check-in?
Yeah. No condition one. I was pretty fit. But yeah, he did not like me. It was not a great deployment. But I was sober. So like I've actually been sober since that day. It was December 10th of 21. So it was like been sober since. So I was like just trying to convince the sergeant major, like, I promise I'm changing my ways. And dude, I would go out on libo and he would just side-eye the fuck out of me.
Just knowing that you're going to be the problem.
Yeah. He was a bald dude, and you know, he was grilling me so hard I thought he was going to start growing more hair.
What is it with the staff NCOs going bald? I mean, I get it. It's, Marine Corps, but when you say bald, it's like, I love how that narrows it down to like nothing else.
Yeah, for real. It's like, yeah, that bald staff sergeant. You're like, yeah, man, which one?
Yeah. The staff NCO, the tall white one, jacked, that one. Okay,
yeah.
Great.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. Hey, buddy, that really helps.
Yeah. Like, give me something else. Again, like, is he Hispanic? Okay, that narrows it down. He's probably not Sergeant Major Ruiz, so there's that. Okay. But what was your time/life like as a grunt though? Because enough with the intelligence specialist, getting my memory right here. But what did you do when you were a grunt? You said you were an 11 before we started. What was your life like as a grunt?
Yeah, grunt life was man, it's been a while since I actually like truly reflected on it. But yeah, it was I got recruited. I was supposed to be a combat engineer. I wanted to be infantry, so like I had a signed contract, and then every week I was just going back to MEPS as a sub in until somebody popped on a piss test or just couldn't ship. And then so very last minute, I was living on my own at the time. I was 17, or sorry, I was 18. But I graduated high school early, like January of that year, and kept going back, and went through ITB. My first battalion I hit was 2nd Battalion, 9th Marines. I was initially in Gulf Company, and then got snatched up over to Fox for the Libya deployment. And then it was like, once we got back from there, it was 6 months we were in the States, and we were back over on a UDP over to Okinawa, Japan.
Okay.
And then they disbanded. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 2-9.
Yeah.
I was being in
helmet,
because I know that they're like historically they're they do pretty well with their branding from like when I think the 2000s was when they were big in the Middle East, and then I want to say wasn't Kyle Carpenter in 2-9? Someone fact check me on that, please. Yeah. We actually found out that he got the Medal of Honor. One of my my team leader at the time was like on. I can't remember if it was on compound or just like part of that that company when the Carpenter events happened. So like most of my seniors found out that he was getting the Medal of Honor while I was on my first deployment, which was sick. I had no idea. I didn't even know the like weight of that. I was a fucking dumb boot, so I was just like a lance. Like, what's the Medal of Honor? Like, you're an idiot. Shut the fuck up, Rassy. And so I just kind of shut up and colored in my corner. Yeah. It's like, come on, like, okay, you're gonna blast me again. I've been here 2 days. I don't know what note-taking gear is. Of course, I'm not gonna bring it to formation. Okay. Yeah. But 2-9 though, was it because I imagine was it like a pretty proud unit to be in though when it was, I guess when it was still around. 100%. Yeah, like the brotherhood there, like even my peer group, we got really close. And we could tell that there was like legitimate brotherhood in the like seniors that we had.
Everybody knew each other. It was a really cool climate back in the day. But this was also like circa 2012. So like people were still tree lining each other, and like there was still a lot of debaucherous things going on, but like everybody had each other's back.
Yeah. Were a lot of them, I guess Salt Dog might be, but were some of them, some of the, like because I know 2011, 2012, that's about the time, like the last real big push that we did into like Afghanistan and like Iraq heated a little bit, I think. So were they a part of that cohort?
Yeah. So like most of my seniors had done a couple of deployments to Marja. And then really, I think the last like Afghan deployment, and we were so pissed. So I never went to Afghan, but it's like I joined to go kill them terrorizers and never got the opportunity to go. So it's just like, it was super frustrating for my peer group, at least in Fox, because we all went to Libya, and it was essentially, you know, we were just doing force security. We were getting shot at and stuff. And like there were impacts from like mortars and stuff, but nothing, like, because of our stringent ROEs at the time, we couldn't engage, and we were hearing echo and weapons were going to Afghan. And so they all went to Afghan, and we were just like sitting on a post in the middle of this fucking North African country.
Mm-hmm.
And we just felt so like gutted, because all of them were still, I think some of them got their cars and shit like that. But yeah, we definitely felt like we got like the shit end of the stick when it came to that, because we knew it was going to be like, that was the last one. And that's what everybody was saying. So at the time we felt super bummed, but you know, we were hitting up those guys. We had a bunch of guys that like we went to ITB with in 19. They were doing active pumps to Afghan.
Okay.
And so like 9th Marines was hitting it. They were getting after it, dude. They were getting after it.
Yeah. No. Well, don't wish upon a shooting star too soon, Johnny, because I've heard that in a magical place, land that's far, far away, in the magical kingdom called the Islamic Republic of Iran, warfare might be breaking out soon. So now I don't know with an MOS like yours, you know, if you'll be, what that entails, what you'd be doing, but you know,
yeah,
you gotta be patient, I guess. You know,
your
dreams will come true.
Yeah, it's funny how it happens too, because it's definitely like ebbs and flows. I've been in for, you know, almost 14 years now, and I can't even imagine what like the Desert Storm guys were going through when like that shit started dying off. But then, you know, Iraq and Afghanistan pop off. Like those guys had to have been so tired. It's no wonder they were all bald, you know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure stress is like the #1 factor for male pattern baldness. I'm pretty sure that's the thing.
Yeah, 100%. It is like, you know, your hairline's receding. Have you ever stepped foot in a Middle Eastern country?
I was going to insert something funny, but I got distracted here. Here is something funny to insert. Was this something to do with you in Libya, or what was the background for the?
No, dude. So yeah, I sent you that one.
See that?
Yeah, that is for those listening. If you can't see the imagery, I'm in full kit, desert camis. That was back when we referred to it as CACs out in 29 Palms. And we were doing this we had this sergeant major who would walk very weird. He almost looked like Bigfoot, you know, like when you catch Bigfoot in the like side, this side shot. Dude, this dude would walk. He was previous recon. I thought, not that there's anything wrong with it, but I thought that he was for sure like closeted or something. He just talked very effeminately. And for a sergeant major, that was crazy.
Now, for a guy who looks like this, is he like would he be classified as like a grizzly bear, like one of the grizzly gays?
No, dude, he was a short, like super athletic dude. Like he's a funny dude, because you could tell he was all about the Marine Corps, but also was like with recon. So they don't play by any of the like standard sergeant major shit. Like everybody will have matching kit, and everybody will have, you know, clean.
Like he wasn't a stickler type of guy.
No, but that was what was crazy, is he was the stickler. So it was like he had to have been a fucking menace while he was at the recon battalions, like just telling everybody to fucking, you know, pull your boot blouses up, All right. Recon guys were like, fuck you, dude. There's no way. You're lucky I got boot blasings on, you know?
Yeah. He probably is happy that you have boot blouses on because then it's not gay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess
Yeah,
if he's
so-
gay, he wouldn't care if the boot blouses were on, but I digress.
Yeah. Well, that was also back in the don't ask, don't tell days. So that was under the Obama administration.
Okay.
But no, so that picture we were in the final event for CAC, and I hadn't really been able to eat anything. I wasn't feeling too well, and right when we were in our like final fighting positions, I had to go take a shit, and it was like somebody had said or yelled that the battalion commander and sergeant major were walking through, and so as they're walking the line, I'm like 30 feet back behind my fighting position, just fighting for my life in full camis, trying not to shit on my camis because I didn't want to like sit on it, but I couldn't undo my boots and get my pants off. So I'm literally like Haji squatting 30 feet behind. And the sergeant major, who I had already had a couple of run-ins with, I drew, like, my buddies drew shit on my cat eyes. And so I was already like very skylined by this guy. And he fucking hated when shit was drawn on cat eyes.
Yeah.
And I just see the battalion commander hadn't seen me, but he like panned. And then I watched him do the like double take. And I'm kind of like, you can see in the image, I'm kind of blending in with the desert. And so he just sees a pair of, you know, bright white ass.
Oh my God. Yeah. When you said the double take, I imagine, I already know what you're talking about. The fucking.
Yeah, dude. He had the combat hunter was going from fucking right to left. And he fucking spotted my terrain model I was making.
I picture this. So this is what's in my mind. You've seen the movie Jurassic Park, right?
Yeah, of course.
So do you remember? No, wait. Jurassic Park 2. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, Lost World. Come on.
Yes. So do you remember the scene when it was the T-Rexes, they flipped the van or that like RV thing like over the hill, but it hadn't like fully went off yet, and the chick, she hit the glass and she's like trying to reach up before the glass cracks, and you hear the adventure music playing in the background.
Yeah.
I just picture you just like that music in the background. There's like maybe half of the shit hanging in, and you're just trying to squeeze it out.
Yeah,
to see the double thing.
Yeah, dude. Well, because we locked eyes, and so like it was a meme in my peer group. I had put at the top and bottom, like
get better?
above and below me, it said Sergeant Major approved, and it was because he didn't say anything. He just like guided the CO. Like he saw me, but it was almost like a concerned mom when they hear like curse words around their kids. You know, like he might as well have just like put earmuffs on the BC and like walked them away. And yeah, no, it was quite an experience. I came back to my fighting hall, and everybody thought it was a job well done, but I let them know that like I locked eyes with Sergeant Major.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it kind of grew from there.
Did anything happen after the fact? I mean, because like, you know, if the bird sees you, but the bird doesn't climb in, you know, to steal, it's like, you know, you really have to.
Yeah. No, everything was good after that. I don't think. I don't even really think I saw him too much after that, because he was an offgoing sergeant major at the time, so it was just like, all right. He just
probably the least of his concerns.
Yeah.
Well, if there is a retired sergeant major out there who finds this archive in 1,000 years from now, please reach out to me so I can get you on this show.
Yeah. We'll have it'll be like a Dr. Phil. And how does that make you feel?
Yeah. So you said that you saw him leaving excrement. Is that correct? What is that?
Yeah. Well, why would you want to do that excrement?
So the audience, they're a bunch of hoes. Catch me outside. How about that?
Yeah.
Well, what was I going to say with that? I completely forgot where I was going with that. But oh yes. So I imagine being with 2-9, there would have had to have been some great training sessions, more or less in the tree line. But even outside of your time, with 2-9, but just being a grunt, what were some of your favorite? What would be the proper term here without Blue Falconing this one? Training activities, that you would take that you did to get better. You're a junior Marines allegedly.
Oh man.
Like the standard, the pistol drags in the hallway, the gas mask burpees in your shower room with your seniors yelling at you in your ear.
I will say so. I don't really have too many of those stories that I would rather get out, but this one might. This might, I guess, count. When we were in 2-9, it was either right before we left for the UDP or right before we left for Libya.
Yeah.
That questionable sergeant major was very pissed at the Fox barracks because somebody had released a smoke grenade in the second deck lounge and just caught everything on fire. And so the whole company, I'm talking all hands, it was because it was a Friday night, Saturday morning, had to show up to the barracks, and he's on the second deck lounge. It was like he was an imperialist, dude. He was like, "Know ye, whoever sparked thy second deck lounge, you will be found. Yeah. You will be stoned. We will find you." They never found him, which is hysterical because I know exactly who did it. Still do. Still guilty.
Allegedly.
Alleged. And it was one of the funniest experiences because it was just like the whole company. One, there was like a bunch of dudes who were actually trying to sleep, but the barracks was like going bonkers.
Yeah.
And fire department showed up. It was a whole scandal. They were like, "We're gonna find out who had. We're gonna NCIS is gonna fingerprint and dust everything, and we're gonna find you." And they never found out who it was.
What color was this smoke here? Was this the standard white or yellow smoke?
I think it was a yellow smoke grenade. I wasn't there. I was already married, so I had to come on base to get my ass chewed for something I had no business or like part of. When I tell you it was all hands, man, it was fucking all hands. The married guys had to come in too.
I mean, look, I say you have to look at the bright side of every situation here. I mean, isn't this not a great opportunity for training? You mean to tell me that this wouldn't reveal a lot about your Marines if you wake them up at 2:00 in the morning, you open up your barracks door, and lo and behold, just smoke fills your eyes? If they can't figure out a way to get out, I mean, should they be in your company? I don't think they should be.
No. You got to know who you can trust. You got to know when to hit and when to stay.
Yes, absolutely. If anything, I think we should reward that said Marine who did that for taking the initiative to train his junior Marines and making them better. That takes some guts right there. That takes honor, courage, and commitment. Nothing
says you're more ready to fight than an impromptu evac of the barracks completely, in total. It was a QRF drill and everybody passed.
Yes. You should be proud. He should have been saying, that's what he should have been as the imperialist. Like, "Hear ye, soldiers.
Yeah.
I commend you for your great actions."
Yeah.
Oh, God bless.
Yeah. It's like,
when did you?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I'll let you finish. I was going to transition to something else, but.
Oh, it was just like, now that we've concluded this impromptu training, I'm going to burn the guy who started it.
Oh, Lord. Well, with all of that said, sounds like you've had a pretty eventful and I would say, noteworthy Marine Corps career. But like, when did you get into? Because I know a little bit about your comedy background, but when did you get into comedy? When does that start to?
That was 2021. September 16th was like my first time ever doing stand-up comedy, and it's been a fucking trip ever since. I was always you know, from the shitting in tax story. Like I've always kind of been a class clown, and the first time I ever did stand up, I was like by myself. I wanted to throw up. I had a lump in my throat the whole time. Super nervous, and wound up going well. So I just stuck with it. It's the first time. It's the first time I felt like purposeful in something. Like fuck, this feels comfortable, and this is like kind of what I was meant to do. As far as helping people take their minds off of shit. Like how it is when you're in the suck. It's just like you need someone who's gonna kind of keep the morale up and keep everybody in it.
Mm-hmm.
Which directly translated to the goofiness and kind of freedom of comedy.
Yeah. What's the do you ever get any flack for like because obviously like with being a comedian, not everything you throw up, you have to have a pretty high tolerance for embarrassment. Do you ever try to throw stuff and it just doesn't land, especially like with the Marines or something like that?
All the time. It's very similar to like, what was your MOS?
0341.
Okay. It's like very similar to like any sort of gun drill. Like you're going to fail. Like you're going to suck at patrolling when you first start. Your senior's going to beat it into you. And so kind of with comedy, it's very similar. You're going to throw shit at the wall and you're going to fail. You're going to bomb your dick off. But like the whole point is like getting past that. It's like, okay, if you can stay with it, you're going to be a better comedian by the end of it. Like those kids that, they go through a couple of workups or like, 70% of a pre-deployment workup and they're just not getting it and they want to quit and they just like self-wallow and like they're filled with all that self-pity.
Yeah.
It's very similar in comedy. Like a lot of people will take like, oh, like my joke didn't work, which just means I'm not funny. Like, no, man, that's not it at all. It's just, you got to find how how to make people laugh. You got to add your personality. A lot of people do performative comedy and they're trying to appease the audience. If anything, it needs to make you laugh first. So then it comes off as genuine as possible.
Yeah. Plus, there's a lot of like small stuff that goes into it. I think that you just don't have an eye for yet till you get in, because it's like, is it really because the joke's not funny, or is it because you didn't come across as confident? Was the timing off and you needed to deliver it better? Was the setup ideal? Was the word choice the best? Little things like that. And similar, I guess, any passion, job, whatever it may be. You have to learn what to look for.
Yeah. And like you pick up on some of that stuff. That's like, it's really good to get a variety. It's like the like Marine Corps drill team, plenty of like ROTC high schools will watch like what they're doing. And so in some cases it's like, it's really good to get experience in watching touring comedians come through. So like, even if you're not performing on that show, it's almost like doing a case study on how to do it, and then you kind of pick up on some of the comics. Like every once in a while I'll try and watch some specials of comics that I kind of admire or enjoy their writing and how they perform their jokes. Like Dan Soder to me is a really big influence. I love Chris D'Elia. Louis C.K. is obviously like a fucking a god in it, but you kind of want to pull some of those performances. You want to pull in some of that joke writing, because like there's a few kinds of jokes that you can write, right? Like is it mostly act outs? A lot of comics do crowd work or try and lean on crowd work. But usually comedy comes out of like some sort of misdirect. Right, some of the best jokes are punchlines that you don't see coming.
Yes, exactly. Who are the top 5 favorite comedians that you have of all time?
Ooh,
because I'm not one for lists, but like this is one of the few things that I actually have like thought about and like nailed down to a top 5. But I'm always curious when I hear the other comics, you know, what are their choices?
Yeah, I don't know, because I feel like you can have a couple of lists, because I feel like there's some like honorable mentions, but then there's also like, are we talking legacy comedians? Are we talking like current working comedians? But like Louis C.K.'s got to be one of my top ones.
Okay.
He's just like a fearless dude, and he really leans into the tougher subjects and just handles them in a very silly way.
And not to mention, I mean, you talk about resilience with someone like Louis C.K. I mean, the way that he came back after his, I don't even want to say scandal that he had, but for the way for him to bounce back the way he did, what a G, what a legend.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's perseverance, but then also like, you know, I've watched a lot of the like podcasts and stuff he goes on, and you know, just the way he's kind of recovered from it is very genuine. But he's the best. I you know, writer, performer, all of it. Like there's no second. He's the best. The other, I would say David Tell is really funny. Dave Chappelle for sure has to be on that list.
Oh, very chalk pick. Very good one.
Yeah. Dude, Cat Williams.
He's my number 1.
Patrice O'Neal.
He does not. Patrice O'Neal, may God rest his soul. That man does not get enough credit for how great he was. I think he's one of the most underrated of all time.
He's, in my eyes, the coolest comic at creating like fucking got you moments. The way he always thought about shit was very like, you know, one of my favorite bits from him is like he's talking about if women had like a tragic pussy losing accident.
Yeah, imagine if you were in a terrible train accident.
Yeah.
Like, look, we got to remove the pussy right away, or you know, you're not gonna live.
I don't know if yeah. And they immediately all went to like, well, I have a mouth. And it's like, see, you guys do it to yourselves. Like, you're wondering
like,
why
you
men don't respect you.
yourself as a series of holes, but like, I'm a piece of shit if I.
Yeah. Look at you as that, you know? Yeah. So he's funny as shit. Was that 4 or 5?
That was
one more, huh?
That was 4. I was gonna say with Patrice though. Have you ever heard him on? Because where I really got my kicks for him was Opie and Anthony, when he would be on that show all the time, and then when he would do the Comedy Central roast, but for Charlie Sheen. Because not a lot of people know this, but he literally did that Charlie Sheen roast. I think it was like last minute, and on his plane ride to the Charlie Sheen roast, he was like writing the jokes literally on the plane, like brainstorming.
Yeah, and I'd have to say the last one is Ralphie May.
Another great one. May God rest his big heart. Very good.
Dude. And he's got a couple of master classes for any comics that are watching this that are on YouTube, and it's just like it's free game. That's all it is.
What are some? Girth of the Nation, Ostentatious.
Yep.
Because I grew up on him. My mother, she loved him. That was one of his favorites. So we would sometimes like she would, even though like as a kid, I don't think like I probably should have been watching some of the stuff that he was doing. But like I grew up like watching some of his specials, and he was, even back then, he was hilarious.
Yeah, he's the best, and he gone too soon. That's it. You know, he would be absolutely crushing it in the podcast realm in all of today. Him and Patrice, like they would just be monsters.
Yeah, dude. Now that you mention it too, because some of the people that he, especially Ralphie, because like Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura, Joey Diaz, like a lot of the people that are already very big in the podcast world were already like very close with Ralphie. So dude, that makes me even more nostalgic to think about it now that you mention it. Because fuck, we really, it's like thinking about Chris Farley dying in the '90s. Like we really did miss something great here. There's something that we're not getting right now.
For sure. Like the world is missing out on comedic material.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. What was I was gonna say, well, because with Ralphie, like, you know, I do agree with you that it sucked that we lost them, but He even joked about it. I forget which one. I want to say it was ostentatious, but he talked about it. It was like because one of the popes back then had passed away, and he was like, "You guys got to understand that's what old people do. It's like, you know, they die. You know, you can't be upset." He's like, "Look at me." He's like, "I'm a fat bastard." He's like, "If I died," he's like, "if I trip and fell on you guys and killed 3 people in the front row," it's like, "Look, you'd be sad, but
Yeah. Why'd you buy front row?
yes,
Yeah, man. And they're the best, man. Like Louis C.K., one of my favorite bits from him is he's like, when you're saying something you think you shouldn't be saying, you can't stop in the middle of it. Like you can't cough. And he's like, you know,
oh, God.
there's too many black people.
Wait, what?
He goes, there's too many black people suffering from oppression. You know, like he's like, you can't stop in the middle of it.
Yes.
That whole bit is the best.
Mhm.
And I'm murdering it, but yeah.
So with where is the aim then of Mr. Nick Raspberry's career? You know, in your comedic aspirations, because it sounds. I mean, I obviously I know given what we've talked about, and I assume whatever audience members that are from your side watching this, I mean, they would know. But you know, sounds like you're doing, you know, I'd say pretty well for being an active duty Marine and a comedian. You know, you're doing pretty well for it, I would say.
Yeah, man. It's the end goal is just like this like retirement's just gonna fund my full-time comedy career. The plan is to get out and just, you know, be good enough to have people want to see me and progress my comedy career so I can, you know, do it full time. That's all I care about. It's pretty much, it takes up most of my brain space, 70 to 90% of my day. Like it's all I can think about. It's a real passion.
Yeah. How are you able to, like, do you have to take up leave days to be able to get like some of the travel trips that you're able to, or like some of the shows that you're able to book for?
Yep. Yeah. So I throw it in MOL, like, hey, I'm, you know, going to perform, and you know, I usually have to be pretty upfront with my bosses. Fit rep does not reflect. But yeah, I'm usually pretty upfront, like, hey, you know, all my comedy stuff, none of it's directed towards like DOD endorsement or anything like that. So, you know, I'm usually like, hey, this is just something like, because I don't make enough for it to be like taxable.
Yeah.
One thing comedy is very lucrative in the beginning. So, you know, really it's just, I'm trying to put in all the work now as an active duty guy, and, you know, be able to transition into a touring comedian, or at least a featuring comedian before I get out.
No, yeah, actually make it to where it's would sustaining be the right word, or, you know?
Yeah. Like it's self-sustaining at that point, right? Like, 'cause the idea would just be to make enough money so I can go, you know, open for other comics and have the availability to do those dates.
Yeah. Speaking of lucrative, though, if you have made it this far, I encourage you to like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. Give us money, please. This is really what I'm asking for, because don't get me wrong, we love to do this. It's a passion of ours. We love our audience members, but I can probably speak for Nick here when I say that we do want to live better than you guys. We do want to live at least somewhat above our means here. So if you could support us in any way, I would greatly appreciate that. Back to you, Nick.
Molest that fucking subscribe button, dude.
Yes. Look, you will never own a home. You may not be able to afford child support this month. You may be physically destitute or homeless, but you can always give your 2 favorite comedians money. That's another way that you can help out your veteran community.
Rub your dirty little fingers all over that like button. Smash the subscribe button.
Yes, the Jew hands come into play.
Yeah.
The filthy goy.
Yeah.
Well, so I assume you just plan on, I mean, wrapping it up in the next 6, 7, 8 years, and then, you know, comedy, that'll be the game plan.
Yeah, man. Just get out after 20 and I think the last thing I want to do is be one of those guys that stays around the military, but then just like motherfucks it. I don't know if you've ever ran into those guys while you were in.
Wait, describe this again for me.
Yeah, it's like the guys, I don't know, like they should have retired at 20, but they re-enlisted, and like now they're just old and disgruntled and like still in the Marine Corps. You've never ran across those guys?
Maybe I did. I'm sure I did. I guess I just didn't pay attention to it that well. I mean,
dude, yeah. I mean, it's just like it's the mass sergeant that's like never around, And
yeah.
He's just. I don't want to feel like when I look back on my military career that I overstayed my welcome. So
yeah.
20 to me feels like the right number. It's like it's a goal I had when I first joined, is that I wanted to do the full 20. And so like anything after that just feels kind of disingenuous to me, at least right now. Life circumstances could change, and I get why people would stay in. I mean, you want to talk about the most job security you could possibly have. Like, this is it. It's a solid check, at least, every 2 weeks.
It is, yeah. Plus, I mean, yeah, and I guess to sum it up a little more, but you want to leave it, I guess, while you still love it. You don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to look back on it and like have a sad taste in my mouth.
Yeah. I was gonna make a joke about the I'm very off today. I'm not like doing it well. I was gonna make a joke about the photo with the ass hanging out with the beam. Yeah, look at that beaming sun right there.
Yeah, dude.
Probably camera angle.
Just reflecting. Yeah. Did
you get at least a nicer tan off of it? Was the it's like how it is with most people, they'll have like a solid tan, and then as soon as like the crotch line shows out, it's just like baby bottom vanilla.
Yeah. Buns weren't out that long, but maybe.
Well, I'm not saying, I don't endorse nudity on this show here. I will keep it PG-13 related, but if you could show proof, I mean, that would always. Boot bands are on.
Yeah.
Boot bands are on, Mr. Ravioli.
Go over to the Patreon.
That's what I should do, but I'll digress to another part. Well, normally I would continue on. Do you have how much time do you have? I don't think I'm going to carry it on that much longer, but I don't want to keep you here longer than needed if I'm dragging you out.
No, you're good, man. It's I'm chilling.
Okay. All right. With I guess I can talk about the MMA part of it, because I remember seeing that about you on your Instagram page, and I that's probably the only thing I haven't hit on that I keep forgetting that you do. But is it mainly just Muay Thai, or how much? Like, what is the MMA career experience skill set?
No, it's so I haven't like actively fought. So the video I posted was from supposed to be a tournament. My bracket at that weight is usually just pretty slim. So it was just a singular match for me that day. But yeah, it was a kickboxing. It was a IKB tournament that was down in. It was like right before I PCS down in North Carolina, and the opponent was dope. He was awesome. But yeah, I've been training for almost 10 years now. And yeah, 2019 is when I started. I've been doing jiu-jitsu first, then I kind of moved over into no-gi MMA, and then really started taking a liking to the kickboxing and Muay Thai. That's the fun stuff. I use that usually for like a lot of my conditioning stuff. But yeah, I'm a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, purple belt in pancrase. Got promoted like a couple of months before I PCS, and then just been chilling. I recently injured my LCL, so I haven't been training as much recently.
Wait, what's the LCL?
That's the outside band. So like if you're looking at your knees, on the outside, it connects your it kind of connects like at the bottom of your quad down to the top of your calf, and so it's exterior band. Yeah, I thought I tore it, and nope, I got really strong knees, which is probably how I got to gunning.
Yeah, I'm still trying to find it, but yeah, for those who don't know, yes, the Shrek socks are in season.
Hell
here.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, I went full because I usually wear this as a prop, but I got the skivvy shorts on. I got a lot of green on for not being in St. Patrick's Day.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. How'd you hurt your LCL though? Was it just from like rolling around, or was it in an actual sparring? Or it's like, how do you hurt that?
Yeah, LCL was I went to sprawl when someone was taking a shot, and he had my ankle, and so I was kind of like my legs were in a figure four almost, and so when I posted my knee out, my knee just kind of like stretched the band, and I thought I snapped it because there was a loud pop. And I was like, it was right before the Christmas break, and I was like pissed because I was supposed to get back into training, and it was a whole debacle. And then after MRI, it was it's strained right now. So they told me I can't train for like another 3 months.
Wait, so can you walk, or like what can you do on it?
Yeah, no, I'm good. It's anything like laterally. So like all my super athletic training, like sprints and shit like that.
Yeah.
All the agility stuff just has to take a quick knee, no pun intended.
Can you at least walk side to side on the stage though? Or like, are you
Yeah,
stuck down just idly?
Yeah. Yeah, without pacing too much.
Well, I think I hit everything that I wanted to. Yeah, I think I hit everything that I wanted to talk about. Unless there's anything that you want to bring up.
No, man, I'm performing at the Hollywood Improv. I don't know.
Oh, yes, plug, promote everything that you can. To get people
man. You can follow me at Nick at Night on Instagram. I'm out in the DMV area over in like Quantico, so keep an eye out for shows. Anytime I have a month booked out, I'll post it on my Instagram usually. And if you want to reach out to me for bookings, I'll come to your battalion. I don't give a fuck. I'll do a impromptu show anywhere. If there's a mic and a light and audience, I'll be there. You can also follow my YouTube. I got some old podcast episodes you guys can watch. I also have a 20-minute set on there, so there's plenty of content if people do want to support the pages.
I love the MMA mentality, but for comedy though, any mic, anytime, anywhere. The Piotr Yanyo.
Yeah, dude. I don't give a fuck, man. I don't give a fuck. Straight
Did you see him at featherweight when he was big? That zombie looking of a character, just
dude, shredded, baby, shredded.
I don't know. Shredded would be a little bit of a push. That was just straight up, just drained.
Yeah, and not in the good way.
No, the shredded, shredded cheese, shredded whatever else goes shredded. Anyway, last bit, Nick, before we end out here. Not an actual comedy bit, but anybody who is still in the military, which I suppose includes yourself, what advice, anything that you want to tell them, any message you want to leave them before we wrap things up?
Yeah, man, I was just say, some of the biggest and hardest challenges I think a lot of vets have is the transition from military life into finding something that gives them a similar purpose. And for all the guys out there struggling and searching for purpose, get out there, experience things, and see what you're into, because you'll find it in the weirdest spots. So, your military career is a part of you, but it does not define you. And even if you got out on good or bad pretenses, man, just do what brings you joy.
Love that. Very, very, very well put. And as somebody who has gotten out, finding purpose will be the biggest struggle you will face. So if you can preempt that, or at least know what to face, Nick, you hit the nail on the head with that one. So with that said, I will end by breaking tradition and salute the enlisted on our way out of here. But Mr. Nick,
no.
Yes, I will use the right hand. I'm still familiar with the article. Okay, I know this rule. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, yes. But Mr. Nick, thank you. I will end the recording here, and for everyone else, we are out of here. See you later.
Thanks, guys.